this morning. Well, I'm not really going to read the verses because it's a long, long chapter. So we're going to do it the way the Lord would have us to this morning. But everybody knows the story. And this is what the Lord wanted me to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about David and Goliath. You know, at the beginning of the 17th chapter, it talks about the Philistines gathered together for battle, and they were on the side of this mountain. And the Israelites were on the other side of the mountain. And there's a valley between them. You know, and there was this champion of the Philistines that would come down every morning. And I say a champion, this guy is so big, he'd make me look like a little tiny kid. And you know, he had armor all over him. He had spears that would weigh a ton. He came down every day ready for battle. He even had an armor bearer, someone holding his shield so he could stay protected. And every day he'd go down there and he would tell them to send someone down to fight him. And he said, and if he should kill me, we'll follow after you. But if I was to kill him, then Israel would have to follow after the Philistines. You know, this went on for 40 days. And I was thinking, 40 days, they just send this one man down there. I'm like, if they were such a great army, why didn't they the first day just start walking across the creek and up the other side of the mountain to battle? I'll tell you why, I believe, because they were afraid of the Lord. Because for 40 days, they sent the one man down there. For 40 days, he'd say the same thing every day. And there'd be nobody come to fight him. And you know, Jesse had 3 sons that were in the army, his 3 eldest, and he sent his youngest son, David, to go check on him and to take him some, I forget exactly what kind of food it was, but he had to take him some food. And take some food to the one who was in charge over them. And you know what? Whenever he got there, his brothers thought that he was just there to see what was going on in the battle. They thought he was just there to just gawk. I don't believe they realized that he was there because their dad sent him there. You know, while David was there, Goliath came down there one day and did his spiel again, and David asked what would happen to the man that would battle him and beat him. Because they were talking about what would be given to the person who could beat this Philistine. And you know, David said some stuff, and word got back to the king, and the king called for him. David told him, he said, I can fight this Philistine, and I can beat him. And the king's like, you're too young, you're too small. can't defeat him. But he said, I battled the lion and I battled the bear. And I defeated both of them. And he's like, I can defeat the Philistine. The king, every time I read this, it just makes me wonder what was really going through his mind whenever he seen this little, small young man that he put his armor on and was going to send him up against this huge giant. Whenever he had his whole military out there on the side of the mountain, who was afraid to go and fight the Philistine. But I believe this is the first time that the king had any hope whatsoever. Someone said that they could feed him. Someone said that they could fight him. You know, sometimes in our life, that's what we need is someone to just come along and give us that encouragement to help us to where we can battle these battles. But you know, David, he had all this armor on and the sword, and he said, I haven't earned this. Took it all off. All he had was his, I believe, a staff and his sling. And you know, David, he took 5 smooth stones and put them in his bag. And he went down. He headed straight on to face the Philistine. He went straight on. That's how we have to fight our battles. We have to fight our battles straight on. We have to go. You know, David believed with all of his heart that God was going to help him. Because then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, and thou hast defiled me. He came with the Lord. That's how we have to fight all of our battles. We have to fight every battle with the Lord. You know, there's each and every one of us, we're going to have troubles in our lives. We're going to have trials in our lives. But we have to face them head on with the Lord. We have to make sure that we have the Lord there with us. The Lord there leading us and guiding us. That's what David had to have, was the Lord leading him. It wasn't David leading the Lord, it was the Lord leading David. And you know what it said after that? It said that David went in haste, went running towards the army of the Philistines by himself, mind you, headed towards the army of the Philistines, running, reached in his bag, grabbed the stone, put it in his sling. While he was running fast and furious, was able to sling it right in the only spot that the giant didn't have protection. I'm telling you, the only reason why that stone went where it went was because the Lord was guiding it all the way. And you know, it said he went in haste, he went quickly. Whenever we need to take on our battles in this world, we need to face them head on quickly. We need to make sure that we got the Lord there with us. And I'll tell you what, the Lord will lead and guide and direct us and make sure that our stone lands where it needs to land so that we can defeat whatever is out there in front of us. We all have Goliaths. We all have a Philistine army out there in front of us. But we need to take them head on. We need to be like David did, and not like the Israelite army was. The Israelite army was so afraid of one man. One man who would come down there every day and tell them, come on, defeat me and we'll follow you. That's all you got to do. There wasn't a single one in the army that could say that they could defeat him. What it took was someone who had already faced battles in their life. Someone that knew how good God is. Someone that knew the power, the strength of the Lord. Because when we leave here today, we're going to run into things. You know, we never know what tomorrow's going to hold. It seems like this summer for me, it seems like every time I turn around, there's something happening. Let me tell you, we've got to have the Lord. I'm not blaming the Lord for anything that's happened to me this summer. Because it's not the Lord's fault. But I'll tell you, things happen. Not quite sure where I was going with that. Other than things do happen. Things happen, and we have to make sure that we have God there with us to face them. You know, a few weeks ago, whenever I'd see my mom in the nursing home, and she just, it seemed like to me she was suffering. I started praying to the Lord to take care of her. The Lord's way of taking care of her was taking her home. And you know, not my place to question. She's better off. And you know, we should all pray that the Lord would help us to make right decisions. Pray that we're better off. God will take care of us. God will take care of us. We just have to put our trust and faith in Him. We just have to be like David. David never once, if you read that chapter, David never once wavers one bit on the power of the Lord. He, the whole time, had faith and trust in the Lord. That's what we have to have. Faith and trust in the Lord all the time. Because if you don't have faith and trust in the Lord all the time, then you're not believing in him all the time. We have to believe that he'll take care of us. With the ones that have passed away this summer, I get to thinking about death. We get to wondering, well, how much longer do we have here? And you know what? The 3 people I know that went recently were all different ages. And we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know what the rest of today holds. I got this phrase stuck in my head, fast and the furious. It's how we got to be like David was. He was fast and the furious whenever he went to approach the Philistine. And that's how we need to approach each and every day, fast and furious with the Lord. We make sure we got the Lord there with us. I do believe with all my heart he'll take care of us. And he will. He'll take care of us. Well, that's all I have this morning.